Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Easton Historic Commission, May 7th, 2025. First off, we'll have Wayne give us our Zoom instructions, please.
Of course. This meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board and commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. The meeting may be broadcast live and will be recorded on the ECAT. To use Zoom, you need to use the link that is posted in the published agenda. While conducting meetings, we try to keep them close to in-person meetings. If you want to comment as a member of the public, raise your hand using the raise hand function for the chair to recognize you. One thing that is different from an in-person meeting is that we have to do a roll call attendance, and all of our votes have to be by roll call as well. And I guess that segues us right into Tim, the roll call attendance. Is it helpful for you if I just call on people?
Yep.
Okay. Hurley.
Here.
Okay. Ventresco.
Here.
Okay. And Spencer. Yep. Thank you. And Constable. Yeah. Bishop.
Yes, here.
Thank you.
We get to vote Bob up as a member, voting member.
Yep. So we have 3 full-time and an alternate, so we definitely have quorum. So next is, do we have a motion and a second to vote for Mr. Bishop as a voting member? For this?
Motion, Hurley.
Second.
Okay, motion by Hurley, second by Ventresco. Hurley.
Aye.
Ventresco.
Aye.
Spencer. Aye. And Bob.
Aye.
Thank you. And next up, we have a proposed new sign at 99 Main Street. We've got the new store owner in the waiting room. Let me promote her to panelist. Her name is Alicia. And there she is.
Oh boy.
Hi,
Hi.
everyone. I've been painting all day, so. Oh,
There you are.
Perfect.
hi.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Alicia St. Germain Heike, and I am the shop owner at 99 Main Street.
Excellent.
Great.
Wayne forwarded us your sign, I believe, Wayne, you said?
Correct. Yes. The application with the a quick sign mock-up and the applications for a certificate of appropriateness for this single proposed new sign in the Ames Local Historic District. It's at 99 Main Street on the corner. It will be a hanging blade sign in the existing bracket. And I sent earlier the application with the mock-up, and I can possibly share my screen, which this is using a very different version of, yeah, oh, this is fun. It's using a very different version of Adobe. So the front page is large and the 3 subsequent pages are very, very small. So let me see if I can do this. If you all bear with me, and then we can all be looking at something that might be helpful.
Alicia, just so you know why you're coming in front of us, is you're in the local historic district there.
Yeah.
And we keep an eye on everything that goes on there and try to keep things kind of uniform. So that's why we've asked you to come in, just, you know, to stay within somewhat within everybody else's sign size. And
Sure. Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. We're honestly just, if I may just explain,
Sure.
we're honestly just replacing the exact sign that was there.
Right.
So it was previously, it was Champion Driving School. They had it hanging outside. The bracket is already existing. It's already hanging. So I just got a 36 by 36 sign with my logo on it, and
Perfect.
it will have the same hanging mechanism and will be hanging on the existing mounting bracket. So
Perfect.
easy peasy.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
So to confirm, it's 36 inches by 36 inches, so 3 feet by 3
Yeah,
feet.
exactly.
And the material?
It's made out of a PVC material.
Yeah.
And it's the exact logo that was sent to you, except for we did end up changing the interiors. I think on the version I sent to you, the interiors is multicolored. The sign itself, it's all black. So it's very uniform in color.
Ah, okay. That's good. We have as a member of the commission, Amy Spencer, who has a design background, and she had asked earlier about the visibility to people driving by of the lighter colors in that word. So as you said, it's all going to be black, including those multicolors.
Yes, good.
Cool.
I'm glad that that was solved.
Great.
All right, so we need a motion for certificate of appropriateness for 99 Main Street.
I'll make the motion.
A second?
Okay, we have a motion from Bishop, a second from Ventresco to grant a certificate of appropriateness for the proposed new sign. As per the specifications submitted, with the understanding that the dimensions are 36 by 36. The sign material will be PVC, and all of the lettering will be black on a white background. And doing the roll call, Hurley.
Aye.
Ventresco.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Thank you. And Bishop.
Aye.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Good luck
Awesome.
down there. Hope you stay there a long time.
Thank you. Do you guys want to see what the space looks like right now?
Sure.
You curious? Okay.
Yes.
Floors were just installed yesterday. Tomorrow,
Wow.
all the doors will be installed. So this is what it looks like. It's very different from what it looked like originally, if you're familiar with the listing. Very different. And it's all coming together. And if you want, I can
Nice.
show you the outside, how it's coming together as well. If you'd like
Watch
to
out for
see.
cars. Be careful.
I know. At least I have a good sidewalk here. So this is what the
Yes.
outside looks like.
Cool.
Yeah, looks nice.
Yeah.
And that's where the sign will be, right there,
Yep.
Perfect.
up in that little bracket there. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
Good.
wonderful.
Excellent.
Thank you,
Good luck.
guys. I
Good luck.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
see. Wait,
Great.
I can leave, right, Wayne?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. We're all done. Thank you. And I
Okay.
will follow up with a letter to yourself and the building department in the next day.
Okay, great. I also wanted to mention that I joined the Chamber of Commerce and they're going to help me plan a ribbon cutting ceremony. So
Good.
everyone's welcome who would like to attend.
Excellent. Good
Oh,
for you.
Okay.
Great news.
Good,
Good
good
for you.
luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too.
Bye. Great.
Those are so difficult. Oh, God.
I know. That was
I
stressful.
know. A heavy lift of a meeting, right?
Yes.
What
Love
else
to
do we
see
have
new
next?
small businesses.
I love it too, John. I hope it's successful.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very nice. And I'm glad that we could get a quorum together to meet early because she's planning for a March 15th opening.
March 15th, too late.
I'm sorry, May. Because of the now.
Very,
May
very
15th,
upbeat about the
so-
whole thing too.
Yep.
so.
And then next up, we've got the minutes from March 25, 2025.
I didn't see any issues, so if anybody else doesn't have any, I'd like to move it.
Second.
Okay, motion from Ventresco to accept the March 25, 2025 minutes, second from Hurley. Roll call, Hurley,
Aye.
Ventresco. We'll assume a yes from John.
Yeah, he seconded. So, yeah.
Yeah, Spencer,
Yes.
thank you. You're coming through loud and clear now. And Bishop,
Yes.
awesome, thank you. And then next up, and I still don't see Ed, unfortunately, but we've got the potential Keith House Local Historic District. There's not a ton to talk about, but let me share the screen again. Really, the thing we need to do is, schedule everything out, right? I've submitted I've drafted this preliminary study report. So the way things work is to do a local historic district, you have to, form a study committee, which we don't have to do because we already have local historic districts. We have the Ames Local Historic District that we expanded, and then we also have the Hayward Pool. And then you prepare a study report for your proposed local historic district. That's called the preliminary study report. And so I sent around a draft earlier. And then you send that to the Massachusetts Historical Commission. And then you have to wait like 60 days and then have a public hearing to talk about it. And then you present it to the planning board, the select board, and you take it to town meeting for approval. So, the first step is getting the preliminary study report drafted. So I did that. Still need some work. We need photos for it. We're getting a better map from the town GIS folks. I'm hoping Ed can give it a good solid review as to the content. But what I did is I sort of did some backwards planning. You'll see here, and if people can see all this, fall town meeting's probably going to be November 17. So then, they're probably gonna do the town warrant from late August to late September. So we've got to get this on the town warrant in September. So we should have a public hearing date on this draft, the preliminary study report, in case any issues crop up several weeks before that. So that's August. So we need to send the public hearing notice out a couple weeks ahead of that. So that's towards the end of July. We should present to the planning board and the select board, and these are all their dates coming up. And we need to send a study report to MHC in June. And we should probably have a scheduled historical commission meeting to actually talk about this, where we explicitly invite the property owner and the tenant, and make sure that folks are aware and that we're talking about this, and make sure everyone's informed.
So we had any correspondence with the applicant?
We have not. I can hand it over to Tim. Tim has made a few phone calls and not been able to have a conversation.
As recently as noontime today, he has a number. I believe it's a New York number, which is probably what he came to town with. And there's also, there's a number where the answer machine answers. Thank you for calling the Keith. I don't know what he calls it, bed and breakfast store. Keith Inn, whatever it is. Yeah. Please leave information. I think I've probably left 4 messages on there. The other phone goes to nothing. It rings and rings and rings, and that's it. So
don't you think that before we go any further, without wasting Wayne's time or our time, that we need to get some type of focus from him on whether or not he's on board with this?
We can do that without his okay, John. We can actually do this without their okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a requirement
Right.
that the property owner be supportive, but obviously you would want them to be.
Yeah, you don't want them up there railing at town meeting.
And because it is for the good of the property that hopefully they love and want to protect. So perhaps, John, I kind of agree, and that could be the focus of a late May, early June meeting, where we send letters, we stop by, knock on the door, make sure we've really pulled out all the stops to.
Are we allowed to send out a certified or something along that
We
line?
certainly could. I mean, we can do whatever we like. I want to do whatever the most friendly thing is.
Ed keeps Ed's up there at Wheaton Farm gardening, so Ed says the car moves, so he's there and someone's there anyway.
Okay.
Not to get too far in the weeds here, but the reason we're doing this is because it went up for auction 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit scared. I thought, well, there's nothing to stop somebody from coming in short of a year delay, and that would be it. So when you research the deeds, just see where we are. It appears maybe his father has bought the property. We're not sure. It's in that name. It's in the winter or low winter name. So that's continued. So he may be ducking it, thinking I don't own it and I can't do it. But regardless, I guess a stop and knock, I guess, is what the next. I agree with John 100% that I really want participation. I don't
If
want
you want to come up with a written letter or whatever and get it to me, I can make it a point to get it hand delivered or get it posted on the property for the committee.
Yeah, I'd say that's second step if I can't raise him at the door. I don't know what's going on there. So I hope there's not a musket waiting on the other side. It'd be very appropriate to get shot with a musket on the oldest house in town.
Yeah, I think you can move fast enough to beat it.
Yeah, I don't know.
The house is arguably, but I won't get into that too much into the weeds either, Tim, the oldest house in town because the house that belongs to Borderland was in the running for the oldest, but I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Bob Babineau lived in it for as long as he was supervisor for several decades. Now, I'm trying to think of his name. He's actually on a board in town, I think. What is it?
Oh, here's Ed.
Oh,
There we go. Hello, Ed.
Ed. There he is, Edmund Hans.
Yeah.
Could I disagree with John? There's absolutely no doubt in my mind or anybody else's who's ever looked at this that it's the oldest house in town.
So what is the year difference? Thistle is his last name. Ed.
John,
No, I'm just asking.
I've never heard of this claim before now, and it's in Chaffin's History of Easton that it's the oldest house. He devoted substantial time to researching it because there's a era in his book where he claims that the place that's the flower shop in Northeastern is the oldest house in town, and then he corrects himself. I just there's no doubt. I mean,
Yeah. When you look at the style of the house, you can tell it's just that's.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a garrison, meaning that there's an overlap of the eave, and when the floor got dropped out of it, it had a floor taken out. The sills rotted out about 1800 or so, and they dropped it down. There it is. You can see. This is incredibly rare in Easton. You don't see that because those houses have gone away.
Right.
So let's not confuse the matter any more than it already is.
Okay. Sounds good.
So Ed, I'm not sure how much of this you heard, but I've tried.
Yes, no, I did hear. The car does move.
Yeah.
And, part of the reason it's difficult because I've had the same issue. We actually at one point last year agreed to a meeting to exchange some historical stuff, and since he works in the evening, he's asleep during the daytime, so you can pound on the door as much as you want. And
but I'm leaving messages on his machine for the inn.
Leave a message on the car.
What's that?
Leave a message on the car. See if that works.
Yeah. But Bob's volunteered to bring a letter up.
Yeah, that works too. Yep, perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, I just don't want this guy to be ambushed. And I've left on the message. I've left why I'm calling. It's not like I'm just hanging up. He was chasing me. He was carving a headstone for Keith because there was no headstone out there, and he was chiseling away on a piece of slate. And what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I said, yeah, it looks great. And then all of a sudden, it's just gone.
Well, I would think he'd be very interested. I mean, you don't buy a home like this without being a lover of
right.
history.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't anticipate a problem, but that's the nature of the beast. You gotta.
Could I also direct you to the house up the street that used to be Ed White's house? They
Right.
were interested in putting on a conservation restriction on the land, but had no interest in putting a preservation restriction on the house because it would impact the value of the house, et cetera, et cetera. So, he may have as much historical interest as anybody and still not want to do this.
Yeah, but we can override what they want to do. But
Yeah,
that's,
absolutely. I
you know,
agree. And-
we don't want a situation at town meeting where the guy stands up and starts going crazy and government this and all that stuff. So
right.
it's best. Yeah, and I can't. I mean, if I were a betting man, I'd bet it all on he wants to do it, but you never know. So
I think we should come up with a nice letter. I can take a stab at drafting that.
okay,
Send it to the owner in
Okay.
Amityville, New York, and to the occupant. And so we believe the owner is the current occupant's dad. And we can mail it, and Tim or Ed could stop by with a copy of it, maybe leave it on the car, something like that. And it should probably be an invite to a public meeting to talk about this.
yep.
Yep.
Agreed.
So when might folks be available towards the end of May, as we went through that whole, and we can push things out a little bit. Like I'm actually out the very last week of May, so
I guess it goes back to what I said, depending on when we get a hold of him and when he's available, and then we'll work around that.
Well, we're assuming that he's going to respond to us, John. So we just keep moving along. I guess. I don't know, in anticipation of him not getting in touch with us or or either way, just going along. We'll stick with our dates, I guess.
yeah, I could look at Tuesday, June 3rd, Wednesday the 4th, Thursday the 5th.
Yeah.
We could do something in the evening. If he hears back, we could sort of invite him to that, and we could also pitch, or some other date a few weeks out that works for you, or something like that. It doesn't have to be hard for us, but I want to have a thing to invite them to.
Yeah.
And especially the property owner in New York State.
Right. But we're zooming, so this is perfect. He can participate.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know the third doesn't work for me, Wayne, but any other time,
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, and whatever day the Agricultural Commission meets doesn't work for me, because we're into meeting at the
Oh, right.
And he may express a problem with meeting in the evening where he does work. So
That's fine. We can get together enough people to. This is important enough that I would take an hour of time during the day or whatever. And,
Yeah.
I can
and we don't even
usually
have
make
to.
daytime work too.
okay.
Yeah, I know a number of folks can actually pull off a lunch meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah. So I think we stress to him that we're as flexible as possible.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then in the meantime, Ed, if you would be so kind as to review the draft and let me know any things that are wrong or clarifications or things that might make it a little more punchy.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Basically cribbed almost all of the real content from the MHC inventory form, which I suspect you largely wrote.
Correct.
So,
Yep.
yeah, a lot of it should look familiar.
Thanks, Ed.
No problem.
I think that's it.
All right. Anybody else? Anything?
No, sounds good.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Hurley, aye.
Petresco, aye.
Spencer, I.
Bishop, aye.
Okay, great.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
all. You have a great night.
Yep.
You
Bye.
too.
Thank you. Bye.